Onside kicking it as always, man. Thanks for joining us. Already got a few people in the chat. What's popping? Nice to see you. Hey,
What's up? What's up?
what's good?
What's up, Jim? Jim Fox onside
good?
kicking it as always. Ghost, little tongue tied, but we're
Hey,
working
let
on
me
that.
tell y'all something, man. First of all, thank you so much for tuning in, man. We love doing these live specials for you guys. As always, onside kicking it at the very top. Back gonna hit up every social platform you guys got, whether that's Twitter, whether that's Instagram, whether that's TikTok, YouTube, of course. We're on all platforms. Please like and subscribe. Get those algos going in our favor. Get us in front of more people because we're on fucking fire.
Yes, sir. We got Ghost right here. He can't get him wrong. So I'm about to just stop giving up picks and just gonna follow this guy's coattails from now on. But no, I'm about to pick it up. I got some stream too. I got some good calls, some bad calls.
I think that's the best thing about it, bro. Like sometimes you catch a hot hand, and it's good to have that naysayer in a sense, right? It's like if we're picking the same picks every single fucking time, when we go on that cold streak, we're in trouble. So I think we've kind of noticed that fluctuation. It's been, you hit a hot hand every once in a while, hit a hot hand every once in a while. This last hand we hit was just more than hot. I mean, that shit is ridiculous. But hey, Rafi, nice to see you on, bro. Nice to see you on, man.
I think when we have the Thursday previews and we just go through game by game and we just kind of lay it out, I think it makes a lot more sense and it's easier to fluidly pick the games after we just put our thought process out there. Just lay it all
100%.
out there, what we think, game plans,
Plus, we see
running,
the
passing, defense, offense, everything.
We see who's in, who's out. You know what I'm saying?
Gives us a little bit more time.
Weather. I mean, there's a lot of aspects that come into it, man. But as always, let's recap the games, man.
Yeah, let's get right into it. We had a good Thursday night game. We had the Bills travel to the Patriots. This was kind of an ugly game on paper, even though the Bills won by 14. It was a little bit closer in the first half. The biggest storyline of this game, and it's going to also lead to the waiver wires, I think, is the emergence of James Cook, rookie.
Dalvin's little brother, man.
Little brother. I drafted him, but I cut him a long time ago, seeing how far he was on that depth chart. He fumbled his first NFL snap and just gave the ball up. So, it was an uphill battle, but this week I think he might have took the throne. He had 14 carries for 64 yards. Singletary had 13 carries for 51 yards. And then Cook also had 6 receptions for 41 yards, where Singletary had 2 targets but not even 1 catch. So I think that's the guy on my waiver wire.
I think he emerged as like the catchback. I think he solidified that role. They got Hines, so that to me was like, oh, they're gonna roll with Hines. But I think Hines is in the latter of his, later end of his career, and I think giving that opportunity to James Cook. I mean, look, Dalvin Cook is your brother. This pedigree is no joke. It's just like Cam Hayward's brother caught a touchdown pass from Pickett this weekend. You almost got to give him his reps, and I think they did it right. I think they slowly kind of worked him in that offense. And yeah, that's the number one waiver wire for sure, especially for someone like me, bro. I had to play Aaron Jones and Dylan this week with James Conner on a bye. But hey, low key,
Dylan paid off.
I said, yo, is Aaron going to play? They were both questionable at one point. I was like, man, you know what? Even if they can give me 10-10, I'd be happy. They were 7-7 at one point before he pulled away. Anyway, we getting out of hand. Bills, Patriots, as I told you, Patriots ain't scoring 20-plus points.
Yeah, that was a good call from you.
They put up 10. And then
Easy
Bills
money.
money line.
Yeah, easy money
Covered
all the
both.
way around. Yeah. That was an easy call under Bills. I think I don't know why I even went with the Patriots. I thought it was going to be a close divisional game, kind of like some of the games we had this week. But, yeah, that was kind of an ugly one overall. But as far as your playmaker, Stephon Diggs, he gets in the end zone. He's just continued to producing 7 receptions for 92 yards. Isaiah McKenzie, 5 for 44. We talked about him a little bit. Gabe Davis did catch a touchdown, but only 2 catches on 15 yards. So I think Isaiah McKenzie is kind of the WR2 over Gabe Davis, I would have to say. And moving forward, I don't think I could comfortably start Cook. No. But I want to have him on my team over Singletary.
He could be a league winner. You know what I'm saying? Come chip time, he might have caved that, showing him that's his role for sure, but I couldn't start him next week with confidence. No way, no how.
What I'm going to say on that is I think if he solidifies himself as being a clearly better running back than Singletary,
which will take at least a week or two in my eyes.
Yeah, but I think
Singletary hasn't had the worst season.
But I just don't think they trust him. I think it's a systems. It's like a trust thing, and I just feel like they don't want Singletary to be that guy. I'm sure they probably don't want Cook to be that guy, but like, if Cook shows that he is that guy, like you have no choice but to give him the rock. You know what I'm saying? So I'd like, yeah, it's like I mean, Allen had 8 rushes himself. You know, so again, when you see these teams that have a rushing quarterback, 8 carries for 20 yards for Allen, it's going to take away from that back unless it's a back that they are like, no, we want to give you the ball more than this guy. So, and then on the Patriots side, kind of an ugly game all the way around. My boy Ramondre Stevenson didn't have the best fantasy game because he didn't get into the end zone. 10 carries for 54.
I can't stand Belichick running backs, man. It's such a nightmare.
He still had 6 catches for 24 yards, but I think it's kind of a game script, and I think it's more so of a why he's not a RB1 because of game script. This might happen.
Last time Belichick had an RB1 on his squad though? Like if you think
LeGarrette
about it,
Blount?
like White, yeah, LeGarrette Blount and White though. White at the time before the LeGarrette Blount walked off on halftime with the Steelers, you know, White was the catchback as a PPR league. You're taking White over LeGarrette all day. Yeah, he won a Super Bowl and got 3 touchdowns in one game as a Patriot, but all in all, he had a very inconsistent time when he first traveled there. It's just hard, right? It's like, you know, Stevenson is obviously the guy. You got to roll with him.
Well, but Harris has been hurt though, so I think with Harris out, he's a clear RB1 based on volume.
Harris is hurt again?
He's been hurt. Yeah, he didn't suit up this game.
Oh, I thought he came back 2 games ago though.
No, he was out, but he missed the last 2 games.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
So he's like a must start with him. But I think, yeah, I think as Harris comes back, because I think those are the last game. They got like 18 touches. Damian Harris got. Ramondre Stevenson had his. Let me see.
Hey, real quick, shout out to JoJo, man. I didn't even realize that was my sister, bro. What up, Nish? Nice to see you on here. I had a feeling. I was like, let me ask, man. I had a text on the side, man. Nice to see you, girl. I appreciate you showing support as always, man. I should have known when it said, hey, brother, but, you know, had to double check.
Yeah.
Thought maybe the Hulk Hogan people were coming out. How you doing, brother? All in all, bro, I'm happy as hell with Diggs, man. That was my first round draft pick, man. He's number 1 wide receiver right now, fantasy wise, with Coop going down, unfortunately. Lots of love, man, after that game though, bro. It started off our week with some play money.
Yeah.
Got an opportunity to ride some hot hands out there. Next up, what game, man? What we got next?
We got your team. We got the Steelers versus the Falcons. This is one of the lock of the weeks, actually. I think the Steelers pick them at home. Was an easy call. I mean, this game was close, but I was never really in doubt. And I think at any given moment they could have pulled away from to make it a more lopsided game.
I mean, even Mink at the end took a knee after the pick. To be quite honest with you, I kept saying Superdome last week. My mistake, if any of y'all caught that. The Mercedes is the bottom line is when you play in Atlanta in a dome. Now, mind you, every time the Steelers play in that dome, bro, even when Matt Ryan was there, it is insanity. It's a home game. The terrible towels go flying. That's what I was explaining to you guys last week, on Thursday, I should say, regarding this game. It's basically a home game and a must-win situation. With Lamar Jackson being questionable, we don't know what's going to happen next week. Steelers are going to end up facing the Ravens. So the Steelers put together a really good game plan, man. I talked about this last week. 3 games, Kenny Pickett, no turnovers. That's 4 games in a row now with 0 turnovers. Had some moments, again, where he dropped some dimes and got his players in a really good position. Their defense is starting to step up and gel again. I'm just saying, man, watch out for the Steelers, man. Najee Harris looked as explosive as he has looked all year, and it won't show up on the stat line too crazy, but what was he working with?
So Najee had 17 carries for 86 yards, and he also had 1 catch for 6 yards. It was good to see with his injury coming into the week with all the injury tags between him, Benny Snell, Jalen Warren. It was good to see Najee just take control of that backfield. So it was.
What about them Bengals? Hey, we'll get to them soon, man. You gotta stay tuned.
They broke my heart, man. I'm impressed with the Bengals, man. They just have my Chiefs number for some reason. They're just beating them up, man. AFC Championship beat, but
we'll get into that game for sure.
Yeah, just really quickly from the Pittsburgh side, Freiermuth had a game, 3 receptions for 76 yards.
That's my tight end.
Deontay Johnson, 5 for 60. Hayward got the tub. That's it. I mean, kind of same thing with the.
What did it do, Maynard? I was like, who is that?
With Pittsburgh, it's game script. It's like kind of not a high volume. Their strong suit is their defense, obviously. Right. You know, so they want to win games by defense, by 100%. Running the ball control, and that's kind of obvious. So it's really hard to start some of those guys. I mean, obviously Pickens, I think, is the receiver I want to start, but he only had one catch for 2 yards. So it's
I
kind
still
of
have
like,
to start Cooper over Pickens until he really breaks
no,
out.
but who would
breaks
you
out.
rather start on the receiving core other than Pickens? Like,
So the last 2 weeks, I actually was like, I think DJ is the guy because he was kind of regressed. Now, the thing is, I will say, is Deontay Johnson has 0 touchdowns all year. That is astonishing if you really think about what he did last season. And it's not from a lack of targets. He's getting a lot of targets. He's just not getting in the end zone. So in my honest opinion, I have to start Deontay Johnson still, only because Pickens, I don't know if you noticed this or not, he was getting very frustrated in this game. In fact, at one point, he took his helmet off and said, "Throw me the fucking ball." And it was like, yo, we're talking 4 or 5 drives in a row, not one target even. And he believes he's open every time. So with that logic, I think that him and Pickett's, because I think Pickett is an extremely smart guy. He's going to talk to Pickens. They're going to get on the same fucking page. And I think this is the week against the Ravens that Pickens has his explosion, that we've all seen his crazy little toe tap, the way he's an extortionist and catches some of these balls. I think this is the time, this week, week 14, against the rival Ravens, that Pickett puts up his first 100-yard plus game with a touchdown, if not 2.
yeah, I mean, they have a connection clearly. And I think it's going to be something to grow for the next couple of years. On the Falcons side, not much to talk about. The running back split, obviously, Patterson, 11 carries for 60 yards. Algier, 10 carries for 52 yards.
I told you we bottled them both
Yeah,
up.
both kind of booed. On the skill player position, Drake London, 6 receptions for 95 yards. That's kind of good to see from the rookie receiver. I think the biggest takeaway is, I think, with Kyle Pitts out, London is just clearly the guy. Yeah, only guy. I don't even want to start him, but if you have to, or if you have in a dynasty league, I mean, obviously Drake is looking good for the rest of the foreseeable future, but just not really this year.
Either way, we did say Steelers money line.
Easy call,
We
man. Look
agreed
at the
on
hat.
that
I mean,
pick,
this
by
is
the
the Justin Bieber hat, but Steelers colors.
Justin Bieber.
You already know.
Unbieberable.
So, next game, we got another divisional game. Green Bay against Chicago. I actually got this one wrong, but
In your defense, you were like, Bears for sure, and I'm like, we don't even know what QB. So in your defense, yes,
well,
you
my
had the
QB
Bears.
started though. I got the matchup I wanted. I wanted Rodgers versus Fields.
I don't know, man. I don't know, because if you go back to our last episode, I was like, at this point, I don't know who's QB. I don't know if it's going to be
Love, yeah.
Yeah, and we went back and forth on it. And I said, look, if Aaron Rodgers plays, 1,000,000%
he owns the
Bears.
owns
And
the
you were
Bears.
like, yeah, I ain't going to lie. That's true. He owns the Bears. So I don't know, man. Maybe you
I mean, they scored 18 points in the fourth quarter, like 18-0. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they had the big run from Watson, and before that,
Can we talk about Watson for a second?
yeah. What a beast, huh?
I mean, this guy 5 weeks ago had nothing all year. And now Cobb went down, and then he just decided to score touch. That's all he does.
Yeah, I think he has 8 touchdowns in the last 4
Yes.
games. I think
And
I called it.
on the ground now too.
Yeah,
you did.
It was the injury to Dobbs.
Yep.
And
Dobbs, that's right.
Dobbs. It was when Dobbs went down. I was like, this is his time to shine. Like, if there's ever a moment for him to come out and show like who's the best
I was
receiver.
shocked.
Yeah, because I talked about this. I mean, I was watching this beginning of the year. Like, who's the receiver going to be? Dobbs broke away from Watson.
Yep.
And then now Watson has
Hey.
now did way more than break away since Dobbs is gone. The thing is Dobbs is coming back soon. So what's going to happen to Watson? Do you think he remains?
No, yeah,
He-
100%. Him and Rodgers clearly have something going. There's no way they don't figure out a way to get him PT the whole time.
You know he's not even really getting that many touches too.
I know he's not. He's just scoring touchdowns, and that's why I can't stop.
It's kind of scary though. That like, what
I
if
mean,
he-
yeah, the touchdown regression's there. There's no way you're starting him so comfortably, but you have to.
we got to start him though.
I mean,
huh?
he's got 19 points and a half PPR league minimum 4 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
It's a must start. First of all, what up, Zelly? Nice to see you on here, bro. Pleasure, man. I appreciate you coming on and showing some support, man. Hey, I gotta say, man, I really do appreciate all you guys, man. I hit you guys up every once in a while. I tell you guys to come fuck with us, and a lot of you guys continue to do so, man. It was a good moment for us last week, man. We broke 1,000 subs on our channel. This is second season for me, man. This is AJ's first season. I couldn't be happier doing it with my boy over here, my guru, my co-host. It's just been dope, man. So we appreciate the support. please hit us up on the side if there's anything you guys have suggestion-wise.
Yeah, any questions, any starter sits, any betting questions. I mean, we're getting fantasy playoffs, so right now we got to make moves. Make sure we get a good, solid lineup, pick up the right players, drop the right players, start the right players week in and week out.
100%.
So, and just really quick for the stat line, I'm going to start off with the Bears. Justin Fields broke off, a 58-yard touchdown or something like that, like a 55-yarder. Saved his day from a fantasy perspective. Didn't throw the ball much. David Montgomery, 14 for 61 with a touchdown with Khalil Herbert out. And, again, their receivers, Equanimeous, Straight Brown, we talked about him much. Great talent guy, but low volume. You know, he had 3 catches for 85. Not going to start him. Cole Kmet, six receptions for 72 yards. That's good to see.
That's been the only shining light in the passing game for the Bears as far as the closest thing to consistency goes.
Yeah, I mean,
realistically speaking, at a thin position like tight end, that's a major thing to see. But Kmet's legitimately 4 or 5 weeks in a row, really since they got Claypool. He's really been opening up, I noticed.
Yeah,
and so if you need tight end help, in other words, and he's available, definitely.
He's probably not going to be available though. He had a spurt. We had like 3, 4, 5 touchdowns in 3 games, and that's when he got swooped up real quick. And then on the Packers side, AJ Dillon, 18 carries for 93 yards. Aaron Jones, 9 for 26. Watson, the 1 carry for the 46 yards and the touchdown. From the receiving side, I mean, it's just a really low volume offense from Aaron Rodgers. Lazard, 5 for 67. Watson, 3 for 48 in the touchdown. So not much really happening for the receivers other than Lazard and Watson, and hopefully they're getting Dobbs back. Randall Cobb's there, but just he got 4 targets, no touches. So I think when Dobbs comes back, and I don't know, man, I just think the Packers are washed, low-key. Like, Aaron Rodgers might be washed, man.
I mean, I don't even know if I can really call him washed more than just the way they played him at receiver, man. Like, you look at someone like Devontae Adams, which we'll get into his stat line when we get to the Raider game. But, like, take away that. That's like taking away Cooper Kupp from Stafford. It's like, yo, my God, like, this guy needs at least a WR1.
Yeah, but
every one of his receivers would be a WR2 at best on any team right now in the NFL. Think about that, dog.
That's true. But
maybe the Jags.
I feel like he's done it with worse sometimes, you know, and, like, Devontae wasn't always Devontae,
but it's
too.
Also
like
the consistency of healthness. I mean, like, Randall Cobb hasn't even been available to him all year. I mean, even think about that.
Yeah, and their O-line, Bakhtiari and stuff like that.
Dude, it's been a hard year for him, bro. That's all I'm saying.
It is. We'll see what happens. Maybe he leaves. Maybe they get some new players. I don't know. But moving on to the next game, it was the Jaguars versus the Lions. This was another easy call. I was all over the Lions at home. I said it. I said whoever wins this game is going to be a better team next year.
Yep.
You know, and I think the Lions are going to be a good team next year. You know, they're building. They got a good offense. Their defense needs some work, but they are buying in, you know, holding the Jags to 14 points.
I went back and forth on this game because of the scenario of, you know, Jags just beat the Ravens, and how much momentum do they carry from that? But I just looked at position players, man, and St. Brown has been a baller. He went down early in the year, but you take away his 2-3 week stretch that he didn't play, and he's like top 10 receiver type shit. You got, obviously, when Swift went down, Williams got a chance to shine, even though he put up 2 touchdowns week 1 with Williams there. The dude's just been balling. Even getting rid of Hawkinson didn't really even hurt them as much. And you look at the Jags, and it's like, who, Shark? You know, who's their receivers at this point? Like,
Christian Kirk has been balling low-key. Chark's on Lions.
That's right. He's on the Lions now. Again, though, you're talking...
No, Kirk's a baller low-key.
WR2. Yeah, but when he played on the Cardinals...
He was like a WR3 or 4.
Yeah, he was like a WR3. So he's balling because he's getting more targets. He's getting a higher target share, but I don't think he's a true WR1 in this NFL.
He got paid though, so
he did like an WR1.
Yeah, so I think he has that upside. One thing, Trevor Lawrence got hurt in this game, but he came back. Right? Yeah, he took a nasty sack.
Did you see that? His leg looked like his heel touched his back.
But that's like the best part about being young. Your muscles just rejuvenate. He's just like and just came back, like ran back.
His
like
heel touched his back, bro.
Yeah, that was nasty. ETN, a little bit of a slow game, 13 for 54. I think this was a good game for him to score some points, but it didn't really pan out that way. Christian Kirk, 6 for 104. Evan Ingram, 5 for 30 and a touchdown. So in a PPR league, look to start him.
Evan Ingram has been one of the most letdowns to me. It's like Kenny Pitts You know,
I mean, I think as long as he's healthy, he's not letting you down. Just
I know,
because
but
his
even
injury
then-
history kind of just screws me up. Like he just gets hurt. Because anytime I've ever started him
Every
for the
time.
Giants, he just
He
goes
doesn't
out.
finish the game.
Yeah, he doesn't finish the game.
Every
He's just
time
like,
I've started him-
ah.
every time
Yeah.
I started him, he didn't finish the game. I swear on my life.
Me too. I swear.
I swear on my
That's
life,
exactly.
bro.
I
Like
have
four
that.
times in my career, I've started Evan Ingram as a Giant, and 4 times that was it. First catch, one catch, 7 yards, and he was out. You know what I mean? 0.7 points type shit. Every fucking oh my god.
Yeah, and really quickly from the line standpoint, Amon-Ra St. Brown, 11 receptions for 114 and 2 touchdowns. That's nice to see. And then
Got him
DJ
out of the
Chark, 5
league.
for 98. Good to see him come back from injury. Big thing I want to talk about is the running game. DeAndre Swift, 14 carries for 62 yards and a
First
touchdown.
time he out carried.
Yeah, Jamal Williams, 11 for 35, still got a touchdown. So, I mean, Williams is that guy, but
Careful.
Swift, Swift also had 4 catches for 49 yards. I think his health might be coming back, and I
Yeah.
think it might be a little bit more of a split of equal playing time, and then I think they're going to
I
lean
think
towards giving the
officially
ball
they're
to
now-
Swift more.
I think officially now they're like, all right, let's divvy these up, kind of like Dylan and Jones was at one point, to make sure they stay healthy type shit. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but I still think they're going to give the ball to Williams in the red zone. Like
Well,
that's
yeah,
just
he's the hog. I mean,
yeah,
he's
they're
got like at least 11, 12 touchdowns on the year.
yeah, he's leading the league. I don't even know how many he
Yeah,
has, but
he's
he's
balling.
crushing him. So
Bottom
yeah,
line is, we both had Lions,
yes sir,
and I had him in a teaser, which pushed him to 7 at that, and they ended up dominating, man.
yes,
Next up, we got the Jets and the Vikings.
yes sir.
Talk about it, man.
All right, so Mike Masterclass
Real
White.
quick, man. Shout out to Gabe Womack. Yes, to be young, bro. My God, that hit was vicious, man. By all means, man.
Yeah, and Chevy P, what's up, P?
Chevy P's in here.
Chevy P's in
Hello.
here. What's up, big
Hello.
dog?
Chevy motherfucking P, man.
So,
Love you, bro.
anyways, getting to the Jets. Okay, Mike Masterclass White, 31 for 57, 369 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Hey,
They're not scared to
pause for a
swing this
second.
ball around a little bit.
Pause for a second. I told you that motherfucker had an NFL record in his debut last season for the most completed passes. His 3rd start now as an NFL QB. And if that motherfucking number 10 on the Jets, that little dude, doesn't drop that ball,
Braxton Berrios, sir.
they upset the Vikings, bro.
Yes, sir.
And he did his job, that means, man. This guy White's, man, watch out for this guy, man. I'm just saying, man, I don't know what it is about this guy, but he has this
No,
grip
he,
to him.
he likes to throw the ball. So
does.
Garrett
He's a
Wilson,
slinger.
rookie, 8 receptions for 162.
Baller.
Also, the emergence of Corey Davis, 5 receptions for 85 yards. I think if they're gonna throw the ball around
That
as
whole
much as they
offense
do,
just
then
grew.
it's gonna be points up, you know. And as far as the running backs
Hey,
go,
nice to see you on here, Sean.
Zonovan Knight, I talked about him as a waiver wire, the number 1 ad. James
you
Robinson,
did.
healthy scratch. It was between
I
him
also
and
talked about Wilson Loki too.
yeah, well, but Wilson has like kind of been off the radar for a while because he's had a couple games where he's balled out early in the year, even with Wilson. So, but Knight though, the whole reason this is big and this is why fantasy is fantasy.
You see him? I
Yeah.
log on and we're talking Jets. Hey, man.
Yeah, we gotta talk about it for fantasy,
get to
man. No,
your-
because look, this is the guy you want for fantasy. He's got 15 touches, 90 yards. Like, what other? This is why fantasy running backs are just so volatile in
Yes.
fantasy. Because like, where in week
the best word
14,
to
week
describe it.
13 can you just get some guy, rookie, undrafted free agent, off the waiver wire and all of a sudden come out and
And
perform?
could be
So
a league winner.
could be exactly,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Especially if they're performing, putting up
Did
points.
you get him Loki this week?
No, I
last week?
didn't. My team is kind of stacked up right now. I don't have any fab bucks either, so I can't. I got no fab bucks over here.
Loki,
you know?
I got some fab money and I'm trying to push to make a buy
I
week
mean, look,
here, bro.
I got Rashad White and Isaiah Pacheco
I
in
had
the
both
same
of
week.
those 2 weeks prior to you.
Yeah.
And then I dropped them because they did nothing. He picks them up on their
Well,
fucking
you got to spend the
superstars, man.
bucks. You know, you got to spend those
I had
bucks.
them for free. I was like, they were off no one's. I told Issa on the show 5-6 weeks prior to that, like, yo, this guy will lead the league in rushing at one point, Pacheco. I
Yes.
grabbed him for 2 weeks. Even Sean, ask Sean. Sean's like, you got to play him over Amari Cooper. I'm like, Amari Cooper just went to the Bears. I get your concept, but he's not getting any PT. That game, no PT, dropped him. Rest is history.
So really quickly on the Vikings, Dalvin Cook, 20 carries for 86 yards, a touchdown. Madison Vultured, 1 touchdown, 3 carries for 14 yards. Justin Jefferson, baller, 7 receptions, 45 yards, a touchdown.
This was his lowest yardage output and reception output on the season, but he still paid.
He had 11 targets. Yeah, he still got it. I mean, Hawkinson 4 for 33 and Thielen 2 for 27. Not the production you want to see from those guys, but you're really just rolling out Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson and TJ Hawkinson as a tight end. That's not the worst production. Adam Thielen is like more of a flex play, but he has touchdown upside.
He's a great player to play when they're actually playing a really good D, knowing that they're gonna clog the box, knowing that they're gonna double team safety over the top to Jay Jetta, and then you just got Hawkinson or Thielen, and you kind of get that opportunity to plug and play. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But he's definitely, in my opinion, like match up only based upon like the perfect scenario. A couple weeks ago, Sean actually was about to start Thielen over Knox. And I told him, not Knox, over Hawkinson. And I was like, you can't do that. And he doesn't have a tight end in his league, so he can if he wanted to. I'm like, nah, you can't do that. You gotta play Hawkinson. But motherfucker was right, man. He ended up putting up 20 points that week. So
okay, next game we had divisional. I don't want to say boring because I guess any game that goes to overtime, is that considered boring or not really boring? But like,
first of all, any game that ends in a tie is fucking boring.
Is that boring?
You just wasted your life. You'll never.
No, but it's overtime though. We get to see a little overtime.
You'll never get that time back, bro.
All right, who do you want to talk about first? The Giants or the Commanders? There's some pros and some cons.
I mean,
there's not really many pros and cons, but I think there's more to talk about on the Commander side.
See, I'm on the opposite side. So on the Giants side, I had prop bet Barkley to score a TD. He did. I genuinely thought the Giants would win this game. So I took the 2.5 points, which was lucky. But I also obviously had them in a teaser +9. The Giants, man, they're just not explosive. They're not. There's nothing really crazy about the team, but little by little they just saw. They're solid. They're just a little above average. I
think they're overrated. I mean, they're 7-4-1. They're at the top of the division. I think they're very highly overrated. Like I think they're one. I think the Commanders are sneakily underrated because I don't think they're a good team, but I think they're a better actual team, and they're just missing their quarterback. Like they're better offense, defense, special team. I think he's serviceable, but I don't think he's capable. Like I don't think
he's. You had to choose right now, Heineke or Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones.
Okay. If
I had to pick, but I think if you had Daniel Jones for Washington, they would be that much better.
Right.
And I just think like his overall team, because Daniel Jones is actually not bad. So Barkley, 18 carries for 63 yards.
Commanders, man, I'm happy the owner might be out the door
yeah.
soon. Yeah, I feel you on that.
I like Ron Rivera, though. He's a gamer.
That coach is a beast. When he was a Panther, he was a beast, bro.
Daniel Jones, 12 carries for 71 yards. So he's running the ball. He's moving with his feet. Slayton, 6 for 90. Nothing really on the receivers, like you said.
On the radar, I'm like, you got to watch him. Might be flexible. These are the kind of games where you might be able to get some action.
And Saquon also had 5 catches for 18 yards. So really, the only person I'm starting out there is Barkley, and I don't even want to start Darius Slayton. Like, if you were starting Slayton as like a flex or like your WR3, your squad's in trouble. Like, I don't care. Fillers, buys.
Couple of bye weeks.
I get it. I mean, because I'm not gonna lie. I started like Clyde Edwards-Helaire one week, and I'm like, come on, if you're gonna start him, I get it. Like, I would bash someone, but it was just like a roster spot configuration thing. But like, dude, roster spots are just so valuable though that like I'd rather just take another guy who I think is not gonna score points 100%. Than to have to like flyer this guy. If you kind of understand what I'm saying. So that's
for sure. You're going like a Curtis Samuel over this guy all day.
Yeah. Well, no, but like it was when I had Clyde Edwards-Helaire before he got hurt.
Right. It wasn't the guy that wasn't just not going to get any carries all of a sudden.
Well, it was because I knew he was. So it was the week he started that, or it was the week that he got no carries, no touches that I started him like an idiot. Right. But I knew that going into the week that he was getting phased out. But like I couldn't afford to just cut him and just start somebody just to be like, oh, let me just start someone for the sake of starting somebody. And it's kind of annoying because once I saw that, I wanted to cut him. I had to wait the rest of the week to cut him because he was in my he's in my lineup. Yeah, so it was just like I should have just put up a goose egg and just cut him. But anyways, on the Commander side, Scary Terry getting in 8 for 105 and a touchdown. That's nice to see. He's had over 100 yards in 3 of the last 6 games. Heineke's locked in on him. So yes. Heineke, I'll put him as a WR2.
Yes.
He has WR1 upside and potential. Yes. But again, with game slip, the common trend with a lot of these teams that we're talking about is they don't have that touchdown upside and touchdown opportunity. Right. Same with him, but when he's getting 12 targets, he's just locked in.
Scary Terry and he's like your flex or WR3, your team's stacked is my
But I still think you could get a better flex. I mean, I'm
just saying, if you have 2 receivers better than Scary Terry, and you have Scary Terry?
I should, but I mean, I had Cooper Kupp hurt, right. But I should have Cooper Kupp and Keenan Allen.
Right.
And outside
Keenan Allen's been,
but like he's back now. I mean, we'll talk about that later. Yeah. Like now, I'm starting him. Like he's WR2 with touchdown, WR1 upside as well too. But look, I'd rather take Herbert in the Chargers offense than Heineke in this Commanders. Yeah, so that's like, and that's kind of like my theme is I want guys on high scoring teams, and really quickly on the running back side, Brian Robinson 21 carries for 96 yards, Antonio Gibson 9 carries for 39 yards, but Gibson had 2 catches for 20 yards. Robinson 2 catches for 15 yards. So
Robinson is just such a dope story, man. I love to see the kid go to work, man, getting shot coming in and taking over a starting role in the NFL shortly afterwards as a rookie. Man, I'm excited for his future, bro.
Yeah. Where do you rank him? Who'd you rather start, Gibson or Robinson, if you had to pick one?
It's been so rough, It's like a couple weeks ago I thought, okay, Robinson's the guy, and then Gibson got some work. But rest of the season, yeah, I'm going with Brian Robinson.
So I read an interesting stat going into yesterday's game. Brian Robinson had 3 carries in the red zone, and Antonio Gibson had 5. So I think Robinson is the
let me ask you, what did he do with those 5?
I mean, they both didn't do nothing,
They
but
both had 0 touchdowns both?
I have to look into the exact number. But I'm just saying, it's like, because Robinson's getting the early down work, the 1 and 2. And
it's weird.
Gibson's
They're
more
just
like
not
the passing back.
They're just not power backs.
But I'm just not sold on the fact that when they get into the red zone, that they're going to give it to Robinson.
No, only if it's 1 or 2 yards away, because they'll do an end around with Curtis Samuel real quick.
Yeah, or something.
Or even Heineke on a rollout. So
yeah, and Samuel had a good game, but it was
still like Brian Robinson more.
Yeah. So and then Curtis Samuel
Moving
had
forward.
3. Robinson, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want either one of those guys. I mean, I would probably take Robinson.
I'll take either one of them right now.
If I didn't have to invest a high draft pick in Gibson, I would take Robinson on the back end. But ADP Robinson went up pretty high, and that's not really what you want to be spending your high round running back picks on. All right, next game we got the Titans.
Shot to getting the shot. Let's go, Robinson.
Yes, sir.
Right,
so we got the Titans versus the Eagles. Eagles, I mean, just looking good as always. 35-10, just blowing out. AJ Brown, huh? This is your boy, AJ Brown revenge game.
Yeah, you said they were. I was like, man, they look like the GOAT team right now, and you had this look. Would you take the win against the Commanders that they lost on, like 3 fumbles by position players, and then you talk about the Packers. It's like, bro, they're just taking what the defense is giving them. This is what I told you about him. 17 touchdowns going into the game, throwing only 3 picks. Jalen Hurts had 8 or 9 rushing touchdowns on the season. If the run's open, he's running it. And he displayed that to a T. 380 yards passing, 3 touchdowns in the air, plus a rushing touchdown. I mean, this is the type of shit against the Titans, who have been very consistent since they got murked by the Bills in week 2 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
This team is fucking scary. And people are sleeping on them because they lost the Commanders on national television during Thursday Night Football. They're sleeping on them because they only beat the Packers by 1 touchdown. When Love came in and scored a touchdown late. But this team is just doing what they have to do to win. Almost every time you take that three fumble game away from a divisional road game, and they're undefeated still.
Yeah, I mean, Hurts is a baller. We're talking about the receivers real quick. AJ Brown, revenge game, 8 receptions, 119, 2 touchdowns. I don't know if you saw the 41-yard touchdown. They called back, and the next play, another 41-yard touchdown. Such a beast. You love to see that, because when you were like, man, I missed out on those points. Haha, just kidding. You get him. Devontae Smith, 5 catches for 102 in the touchdown.
Having Hurts and AJ Brown on the same fantasy team?
Imagine if you traded for AJ Brown too.
Can you imagine trading Kamara and getting AJ Brown?
I mean,
giving up Goddard.
No,
getting AJ Brown.
You essentially traded Goddard for AJ Brown.
100%.
Because it's like Kamara for Aaron Jones, and then
100%.
So imagine trading Goddard for
yeah. Well, that's ultimately what my thought process was in that trade. I know I keep talking about it because I loved it, because I was like, look, if I'm giving Goddard away, tight end wise, that's a hard position to fill in this league. I'm definitely not going to lose my only combo with AJ Brown. So that's why it made so much sense to me. And ever since then, bro, the dude's put up like 7 touchdowns. Multi-touchdown games at this point. He's done it 3 times since I've had him on my team, including the 3 touchdowns against the Steelers, man. AJ Brown's a beast. The Eagles are fucking scary. I'm telling you guys right now, but I hate to say this because, I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, but that's the team to beat in my eyes right now.
Yeah, they are. And really quickly on the running backs, Miles Sanders, 10 carries for 24 yards. Only one to get in. A slow game. And then Boston Scott, Kenneth Gainwell, not really anyone who could start. this is the downside of Miles Sanders, but going back to the theme is touchdown upside. He's always going to have that upside of having multiple touchdowns, a lot of scoring. So this is the type of player, this is the type of team you want. So that's basically
Miles Sanders makes or breaks your chip game. Like, they could be up, like you see this game, right? They're up against the Titans at one point by 2-3 scores, and it's not a Miles Sanders 10 rushing attempts. Like you would think
more, yeah. You think 20?
You think at least 20,
I think they just want to spread. They want to spread the rock.
Gainwell's been low key doing work.
Boston Scott is good.
Boston Scott getting kickoff returns plus doing work. Yeah. I mean, that team is. I'm telling you right now. Wait till they get Goddard back. Mind you, I told you guys this when they lost Goddard. I said, of all teams to lose their monster tight end, this is the one team that I think can adjust. A couple weeks it might take them, but they'll adjust. And this is what you see now. Last 2 weeks in a row, putting up 38, 48 points, 40 points damn near per game without him.
Yeah, but I think when he comes back, they're going to be even better. Yeah.
Yeah.
And really quickly on the Tennessee side, slow game for Derrick Henry, 11 carries for 30 yards. From the receiving.
I figured this though, because if they go down, Henry gets phased out in a sense, man. That's the fucked up thing about him. The Titans have been surprisingly winning games, so you've been able to roll with Henry comfortably. But man, they go down in some of these games, and your number one draft pick is just schlepping.
And the one thing I want to talk about, Treylon Burks, he was on the waiver wire. Sick catch. Unfortunately, got knocked out though. Got concussed. He still held on to the ball, so he had the one catch for 25. So that was his first NFL touchdown. He got one the week before by recovering the fumble from Derrick Henry. So it was nice to see him getting in. And so it's an unfortunate play that he's probably not going to be watching back multiple times over, but. Hopefully he gets healthy soon and he has some good dividends on the wide receiver because he looks like the wide receiver to own in that receiving corps. Next game, ugly game between my favorite player, Russell Wilson, and the Broncos. Just kidding. Russell Wilson is not my favorite player. He's kind of someone I like to make fun of, like
Can we
Baker.
Talk about this?
Yeah, let's go.
We both felt that this was a trap game. And I was like, bro, I don't know what's doing this to me, but it's screaming that the Broncos are going to win the game outright.
They should have. They could have.
We talked about that teaser having to give 2.5 points as the Ravens. Now, obviously, Lamar goes down, so that looked like it wouldn't be the right play. But again, this is why I like taking 2 touchdown leads in the NFL, 2 touchdown spreads in the NFL anytime I tease, because it's like this. Russell Wilson can't go out there and get blown out by 30 points, man. Or this is
especially by Huntley
really
too. Yeah, again, not by Huntley.
No way.
But it looked about right. Like him and Huntley just nothing. 3-0, 3-3, 3-6, 9-3, 10-9. Like that was just.
Oh, that was a really ugly
slow game.
Do we know the status of Lamar? I think I asked you a little bit ago.
They said he's like day to week to week. Yeah, they avoided any long-term serious injury. Probably avoiding that.
Week to week is what's so suspicious about it, though.
Yeah.
Like, who says that?
Well, because it's like he's so physical. He runs. Like if he was just passing or he was just trying to stay in the pocket, I'm sure he could probably play. But just going out there and getting hit the way he does.
If you say day to day, you're thinking like, okay, most likely it's questionable, maybe even probable for the next week. When you say week to week, you're like, okay, for sure not coming back next week, maybe the week after. But to say day to day or week to week in the same sentence by Harbaugh was like, yo, you're just trying to make the Steelers prep for this guy, Lamar, just in case. I don't think he plays.
Let's see what it says on him really quickly.
Did you see the injury?
Unlikely to play versus Steelers. So Ravens head coach said Lamar Jackson is unlikely to play in week 14 against the Steelers.
Guys, we play the Ravens twice after the bye week. We haven't even played them yet. Our first matchup is next week, and if there's no Lamar Jackson, the Steelers win that game. They're 2 games back. Plus, they play him week 17.
I just think that the Steelers are not going to have a losing record. It's really my
9-8 minimum. I told you. I told you when we came out the bye at 3-7 after we went 1-1 after the bye week. Now I'm telling you right now, bro, it's Tomlin.
Yeah.
You're the only one that seems to understand that.
No,
everyone I talk to is like, oh my God, bro, you're such a mess, bro. You just die hard. I'm like, no, I'm not a die hard fan. I've watched every Steeler game. Bro, we have a complete team. You take away Watt, you take away some of our defenders for 5 weeks in the middle of the toughest season ever and throw out a rookie quarterback out there? I mean, the Bills, the Eagles, the Bengals, the Dolphins, and you're going to judge me based upon that 4-team stretch and the Bucks? Look at that 5-game stretch that we had with the new quarterback and with no defenders, like no Watt, at one point no Minka. I mean, bro, I'm just saying, man. I know you're probably tired of hearing this, but yeah, for $50, if the Steelers win the Super Bowl, I get like 21 racks, bro. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm buying lottery tickets for my team.
Let's go. So really quickly, just a couple fantasy updates. Ugly game all the way around. I mean, first Ravens running backs, Kenyon Drake 7 carries for 29 yards, Gus Edwards 6 for 12. I think if Lamar's not playing,
6 for 12, did you just say?
Yeah, you don't want to start any of these guys if Lamar's not playing. Mark Andrews 4 for 53. Probably the only player I would start. Yeah, he's the only player I would probably start given the situation. And on the Broncos side, Latavius Murray 17 carries for 47. The only player I really want to talk about is my boy who I sent to the waiver wire, Greg Dulcich, 6 for 85.
Did he finally get in?
No, he didn't get in, but he got 6 for 85. That's some good production.
I'm saying he finally put up the stats that you've been.
No, he had like first 3 weeks. He had like 80 yards every 3 weeks in a row,
and then you grabbed him.
Yeah, and then he went down. Well, I grabbed him after week 1 because I just knew the hype, and so he produced for 2 more games, and then he just fizzled out. But now he's starting to look back. But I don't care. I don't want any piece of this Broncos offense. I don't want any piece of Russell Wilson.
That was the hardest thing when you kept bringing him up. I'm like, man, it's like until Russell shows some competence, I can't have.
It's so hard for tight ends out here, you know.
It is.
So
it is. First of all, Pete Carroll definitely looks like the MVP with Russell Wilson trade, Maynard. That's for damn sure. But to tell me to stop, you must be out of your rabbit ass mind. My Steelers are the monsters of the AFC North that just people don't know we're lurking right now. They don't know we're lurking right now. Bengals taking the division. Hey, you know what, Maynard? If I had to take a guess right now, I would actually say the Bengals win the division, only because they came off of a really good win with the Chiefs just this week, which we'll get into coming up here in just a moment. But also Lamar going down. So I think if Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, if they take a L to the Steelers, yeah, you guys are in first place and you guys are the favorites to actually win the division. But you got to look at what the Steelers ultimately have, man. And I'm telling you right now, Maynard, I know you a diehard Bengals fan, and I don't wish this upon anybody, but we split the series against you guys. So in my opinion, we can beat you guys with our full roster. So we'll see who's healthy at the end of the day.
All right, we're going to our last 10 o'clock game. Browns versus the Texans. Deshaun Watson comeback game to the team that banished him.
Hey, did you notice that we got this right to a T? I said I don't think Deshaun's going to go ball out, but I don't think he has to in order for them to get the dub. I said the Texans, I can't see them scoring more than 13 or 14 points. They finished with 14-27 Browns. We also booked Browns -7, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, that's ultimately what we thought would happen. You figured there's no way Watson's going to come out and ball out his first game. He needs some time to get acclimated. 700 days without an NFL snap.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was going to play better, to be honest. I didn't think he'd be that rusty.
I mean, he had 1 pick. He didn't throw a touchdown. He had a pretty, low completion percentage rate, but...
I mean, 12 for 22, 131, like 7 carries for 21 yards.
Again, though, imagine if he had to because they were down. He would have more than 22 attempts.
Yeah.
He had 22 attempts, and he had 10 completions, or 12 completions. I mean... First game back, bro, it could be a lot worse. He also ran, a few times?
Yeah, 7 carries for 21 yards.
You know what I'm saying? That's not that bad, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, he missed a lot of wide open shots. I will say that. He did. And Nick Chubb didn't help him out. For whatever reason, I got Nick Chubb in my other league. Thank God, I have Jalen Hurts in my other league too. But Nick Chubb just didn't really...
17 carries for 80 yards. Kareem Hunt got a little involved, 9 carries for 56 yards.
I told you, right? I said you can't drop Hunt. Because you just never know what Watson's feeling at the time.
Yeah.
And that scares me, bro. Your team scares me with Hunt because I really do ultimately think that with Watson, I think rest of the season, Hunt's going to be a thorn in Chubb's side.
I mean, I got
Chubb in my other league, and I'm kind of bummed.
I have 4 starting running backs. Hunt's not going to see the field at all.
You should probably just drop him.
I can. I'm not dropping them, but I have 4 starting right. My list of the week every week. I got Joe Mixon, Samaje Perine.
Okay, but Joe isn't playing, so is he?
So but Perine.
Oh, you got Perine.
I got Perine. Yeah, so Perine's gonna start.
That's 1 RB. I can't count that as 2. That's 1.
No, yeah, I count him as 1. Okay. Ramondre Stevenson.
Okay.
Right, Damian Harris has been out. All that even, but still okay. And then it's Pacheco and Rashad White.
Yeah.
So they never go. We'll see what happens tonight. We'll talk.
Well, on my team, they would have played over AJ Dillon instead of me having Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon.
Yeah,
so,
that's what I'm
I'll give you
saying.
that.
So yeah, I mean, we'll talk about that when we get into the Chargers and we get into tonight's game for the
What you
for the
feel
Saints.
about the Texans, man? At 1-11-1 or whatever the fuck. I mean,
One-
this is like a
110
sure.
to 1. I don't
this is
like.
sure
I mean, the one thing I will say is Damian Pierce had a good game. 18 carries for 73 yards. We talk about him
But
every
did he
week.
score?
No, he didn't score.
So
but
is that really a good game?
no, but it was
Like
game
9
script though. It
points?
was but it was game script though. Like that's because from the production he had from the first couple of weeks, we're talking.
Sure.
If this is this guy RB1 territory?
Right.
Is he a top
No.
5 RB? Like he was like literally in the.
To me, I can't consider RB1 or WR1 unless they have a team that's low key like playoff bound on an offense that's potent. It's like, you know what I mean? It's just so hard. Like the Broncos, Sutton, Judy, before he goes down, their RB. I can't.
Yeah, that's the only person I really want to talk about on the Texans. But yeah, he's maybe now like an RB2/flex. Not even really as a flex. Like
if anything on a
he ain't
somehow
starting.
perfect matchup.
Yeah, so
Somehow.
so
Right?
yeah,
No way.
yeah. All right, so let's go to the 1:00 games. We had another divisional game. This was an interesting game with the Seahawks traveling to the Rams. Seahawks got the victory,
I gotta give
27-23.
you credit, bro.
Why is that?
Because you know me. Against the Rams, I'm lock it. No. I don't want to hear it. No. Now, thankfully, with the teasers, they were picks for me. It was just, and I also moneylined in a couple parlays. But you said it. You said, look, man, even when the Rams were like,
They played each other in the division with the worst team. Yeah,
and the Seahawks were legitimately.
it was so
with Russell,
competitive.
You called it to a T, and I got to give credit when credit's due because, you did slow me down. I was going to bet the house on -7. Instead, I put him in pick'em parlays, ate the nasty points, the money line points that it was when you money lined them, and then I also did the.
You see what we're doing over here on side kicking, helping each other make some money. You know what I'm saying? What's up?
Facts.
So yeah, I mean overall ugly game starting on the Rams side. I think Cam Akers 17 carries, 60 yards, 2 touchdowns. It's good to see him come back.
I played Dylan over Cam, and finally
But
that
you
was
couldn't
good for me
look-
to see. Now I can play Cam perhaps.
But
next
I don't
week,
think
you
you.
know what
I
I'm
don't think you can
Who are
though.
they playing?
I mean, but the problem is they're playing. I think the Raiders on Thursday Night Football at home.
Yeah.
But the problem is you don't know who's going to get those touches because it was Kerwin Williams the week before. It was supposed to be Kerwin Williams this week, and Cam Akers was supposed to have the backseat. So I don't know
They
who
were
to
kinda
trust.
saying
Like
Karen Williams is more going to be the receiving from what I was researching. He was going to be more of the receiving, and Cam would get that early down role. But the problem with early down role on the Rams, who are going to basically be
down-
scripted behind,
Exactly.
you almost wish you'd rather play Williams. But seeing him actually play like he wants a new contract or playing like he wants to get traded and raise his capital is why I kind of like Cam on a secret play. Not just from volume, but now it's like, dude, like, you got to run the ball.
it goes a little Michael messed up.
You got to run the ball.
Yeah. So I mean, I wouldn't really start any of those guys. I wouldn't start any of the receivers either. On the Seahawks side, little interesting injury to Kenneth Walker. So just make sure you're watching him up during the week if he's going to play or not. He left the game. DJ Dallas left the game. Doubtful to return. And then Tony Jones gets injured, leaves the game, and DJ Dallas makes a return back to the game. So DJ Dallas
This was nuts, by the way.
Yeah, so DJ Dallas is going to be one of the top waiver wire ads, especially if Kenneth Walker misses some time. So look to pick him up. As far as the receiver goes, Lockett 9 receptions for 128 and a touchdown. Metcalf 8 for 127 and a touchdown. Both of them balling.
Did you see Walker getting upset on the sidelines before his injury?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh, dude, he was going nuts with either the running back coach or the offensive coordinator. I don't follow the Seahawks enough to know which coach he was yelling at, but he was hot, bro.
Yeah.
And then he ended up getting injured going to the locker room. So that's definitely something to watch with picking up maybe Dallas and having him possibly be.
Well, his injury looks pretty serious, so he might be missing some time.
But I'm saying even when he comes back, it's not like one of those things.
Nah, he's good, dude. He's no.
Dallas takes over.
So he's kind of like one of those running backs where he looks good. I think that like no one's gonna really compete with that job. Like maybe Rashad Penny has the best chance of competing into his snaps,
Rashad
but I mean he's on
Penny for 2-3
IR.
years
No,
hasn't done shit.
he's on IR. But I'm just saying like there's a huge drop off between Penny and
Dallas.
DJ Dallas. Yeah, DJ Dallas is like a special
DJ
team.
Dallas did have a couple good games last season when Penny went.
Well, yeah, when he had to, but he's
I
like
mean, he's capable.
Yeah, he's not
If
it.
you're on special teams and you're getting kick returns and shit, you know, you got enough explosiveness to be a starting running back. It's just about your vision at that point and if the blockers are doing well. I mean, shout out to Geno Smith, though.
Yeah, he's a baller, man. You see those passes he's making, still just dropping him right in the pocket,
And
in the
even in
window.
the face of adversity, down against a lifeless Rams team with 2 minutes left, drove all the way down.
Yeah.
Got the touchdown late.
He got it done. What was I gonna say about Geno's just Geno? I mean, he's a baller.
Geno has been a baller, though.
He's a baller.
Baller.
Real quick, I want to shout out my boy Parker Cooper. He's saying Ghost, your mic was a little messed up. I think
Oh, what up, Parker?
I think you got to maybe just talk. Hopefully, it's a little bit better.
Yeah, if it's still messed up, let me know. My levels look like they're good on my end, so just let me know if so.
Yeah, but appreciate the feedback. All right, next game, which was the game of the week. Very disappointing game for me. Reason why I took an L betting this week. It was the Dolphins versus the Niners. This is kind of like why I think sports are fake sometimes, because Jimmy Garoppolo left the game, hurt his foot, and I thought that was a for sure sign that the Dolphins were going to win this game. There's no way that the Niners should win this game, let alone cover spread. Maybe they could backdoor win. Maybe they could backdoor cover. But at halftime, I went ahead and dropped the second half line. The score was 17-10, and the line was only Dolphin minus half a point. So I was getting them plus 6.5, and I'm like, oh, this is easy, you know. And then obviously, beginning of the game, you got the beginning of the third quarter. The Niners come out, field goal, and then touchdown Tyreek Hill. You're like, okay, I'm covering at this point. Let me go ahead, get some more points, cover the 4.5 for the game. Easy cleanup. And then you go field goal, fumble recovery for a touchdown. Botched it.
I was lost, man, because this was one of the first times that I posted a teaser for all you guys, man. We hit our 1,000 subs as a celebratory, event. I decided to post one of our teasers, and every single one of those teasers hit. We would have been into the Bucks tonight, plus 4.5 on the teaser against the fucking
Fade
Saints.
Andy
We'd have been loving
Dalton.
it.
You already know
But
the
we're
drill.
sitting here, bro, and I don't know what was going on, man. The Dolphins and the Niners, it was such a gimme game to me that I barely watched it. As excited as I was, I had so many, the Seahawks, I had to make sure that we still got to pick them. And it was just like, I was focused on the Seahawks real quick because I need to make sure they win this game. And then all of a sudden on the flip side, I look back and the Dolphins are down 2 scores. I'm like, yo, then Tyreek Hill scores. I'm like, all right, cool. You're down 9. It's your ball. I'm covering the 10.5 on one of the teasers, 11 on the other teaser. Now we need to, like you said, that late touchdown, make it a 3-point game, 2-point game perhaps, stop them, get the ball back and score. But, man, I got to say, man, the Niners defense looked really strong
Yep.
against that offense. Waddle kept leaving hurt, bro.
Yeah, he left the game with the
waddling
injury,
off.
yeah.
And to be honest with you, bro, that goes to show you, and Sean will tell you, he's so scared of injuries because he knows his team is so on point that they're one injury away. Tua was out. They lost 3 games. There are only 3 games they lost up until this week. You lose Waddle, and now their whole offense is a completely different story.
Yeah, they could zone in on Reek a
Right,
little
you
bit
play
more.
good run defense like the Niners. There goes Jeff Wilson. There goes Mostert.
Yep.
And now Tyreek Hill, Gesicki. It's not that strong all of a sudden.
Yeah, I mean, Hill 9 catches for 146 and a touchdown. Both
the
running
only
backs were
weapon.
phased out. Yeah, I mean, Waddle, it was good to see him come back after the injury.
he left the
Yeah,
game.
but it was promising to see. He did look
Yeah, he's
visibly
not-
hurt
he's not
after
long-term.
he made 1 catch and he came back, so that was good to see. On the Niner side, with Purdy in the game, McCaffrey 17 carries for 66 yards, and then also 8 catches for 80 yards and a touchdown.
Are
So
you ready for this?
what is it?
Before the game, I looked and I was like, 4,000 to 1? Comeback player of the year is 4,000 to 1 for McCaffrey?
Yeah, who else would it be?
What the fuck? That's what I was saying. I'm like, who else is even in the conversation of this?
That's a
So I
good.
was like, all right, I'll do $25 and hit a G for it.
That'd be
25
nice.
bu- Bro, I was like, as soon as he went down, I said, okay, this is how he gets comeback player of the year. If they can still win a game like this, it's going to be because of McCaffrey.
Yeah.
And sure enough, exploded in the second half.
Yeah,
with
just
this little Purdy guy.
And just from a fantasy perspective, I think you're going to still roll McCaffrey. And I think
have
this
to.
doesn't really limit his upside because they're
have
still
to.
going to get the dump off, still going to get the carries. Debo
If anything, it
Samuel.
makes it even better because you're not throwing a Debo. He's not might not be able to have chemistry.
Well,
with
you know who
Ayuk.
I think
Kittle
I
might be
think it,
fucked
it
up.
messes up Ayuk the most because Ayuk had that
course.
connection with Garoppolo,
Oh, God,
so
yeah.
I feel like he's gonna miss out on some of those targets,
100%.
and that's gonna come and go into the running
You're
backs.
not starting Ayuk comfortably all because of that. now
Yeah,
at this
definitely not. I mean, still even Debo and McCaffrey,
No.
I'm not starting comfortably.
point. McCaffrey, I'm pretty comfortable. With.
Yeah, but just again, like, what if they can't score touchdowns though?
I think he's the only one that at least
Yeah, I
get
think
those,
it's
you know. in
But
a
I think the
PPR
defense
league,
will
for
keep
sure.
the defense in there, PPR, his volume, everything like that. So
See, I like having Gold, and I was begging for people to understand the value of Gold, Robbie Gold, the kicker. From a fantasy perspective, I'm like, dude, you guys
Yeah,
got to get him. They're going to score so many points with Shanahan now that they got McCaffrey. And then you see what happened. They lose their QB. Bro, all they can do is kick field goals now. I actually still like the guy now. Even more because I think there's less touchdowns where he's getting 1 point down the field and getting those 3, 4, 5 pointers with 30, 40, 50-yard field goals just because their defense puts them in a great position. 3 and out, they got to kick a 50-yarder.
yeah.
Love it.
All right, we're going to the next game. We got the Chiefs and Bengals. Oh, man, my favorite team, the Chiefs, disappoint me. I would say they disappointed me, but yeah, it was a tough game on the road against the AFC champions, a repeat of the game. Mahomes is obviously a baller. We don't have to talk too much about him. Couple things. Isaiah Pacheco, 14 carries, 66 yards, and a touchdown. Also, he had 2 catches for 16 yards, so it's nice to see him in the receiving game. He's clearly the back to own. Obviously, it was between him and McKinnon. McKinnon's still getting worked
He's
in
still
there.
getting work. I think he
Yeah.
still scored too, Darren.
8 for 51, and then McKinnon had 2 catches for 9 yards and a touchdown. So he still got in. PPR, he does have a high floor, but I think Pacheco is the guy you want to add just for that upside. A little slow game for Kelsey, 456. Juju Smith-Schuster, 3 for 35 on 4 targets, but left the game with a hit. So I don't know if he's concussed or...
He came back after that too, which was weird, man. He got hit hard as shit, bro. And he was like, he even tapped his
He like
head.
pointed
to,
at his head, like,
yeah,
but
he
I,
tapped his head like, take me out, coach. Like,
Yeah.
dude, just walk off the field.
But
Like, he wasn't all there for sure.
I think it's kind of one of those, like, he's scared to get
Oh,
hit. I think,
yeah.
like, instantly the guy hit him in his head. He's like, oh, no, I don't want to be concussed. And, like, a concussion's a real thing, you know, and it's bad. And if you're thinking about it, it's so much harder to return and even try to, like, play effectively.
He
So,
returned and he definitely is scared.
yeah.
Especially that new style. He's not used to just over the middle most of his catches now. You know, he's used to playing wide out with the Steelers. So
And on the Bengals side, obviously P. Ryan filling in for Joe Mixon concussion. One thing I want to mention,
ball.
right now the league averages is 9 days missed if you have a concussion. So
You think that's kind of
that's just the league average. So
do you
like
think that's kind of like a misrepresentation considering someone like Tua, for example, missed like 4 weeks or 3 weeks, I guess?
no, because like it's just common now. Like people are missing multiple weeks from when they're getting hurt.
Right,
For example,
they're
like
not just getting coming back the next week. They're
Exactly.
actually missing that one game between.
yeah, exactly. So like even like Juju, and then now Mixon's missed 2 weeks, which is on the long side. So this is now 14 games almost since he
comes
hasn't been
back for
played.
sure next week.
Yeah, he'll probably come back with no dip in production when he does make it back. But just wanted to mention that, like, because we talked about after Juju got hit, after Tua got hit, like,
Yeah, I didn't think Juju was returning that game. I thought for sure.
no, he returned the week before prior on a
Saying when
snap
he got
cap.
hit on his head.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he's not coming back.
Yeah,
Considering he just got one. you know?
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So these things are dangerous. But P. Ryan, as long as he's out, you're obviously starting him. 21 carries, 106 yards. Also 6 receptions for 49 yards. It was also nice to see Jamar Chase back in the lineup, 7 catches for 97 yards.
Baller.
And then Tyler Boyd with a kind of a bad drop, 4 for 60. And then T. Higgins, 3 for 35 and a touchdown. T. Higgins I like a lot, man.
Did
And
you see Boyd's drop?
yeah, that was pretty nasty. I had to mention it, dude. That was pretty embarrassing, actually.
was
and,
so
and
bad.
MVS also dropped one, too.
Yeah,
just
but
as
he
bad.
made up for it hard.
Yeah.
You know, he played gritty after that. I liked that about it. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, that was like one of the worst drops I've seen in that type of game. I was like, damn. But yeah, having Jamar Chase back, man, this is what I was telling you, man. And I know my division very well. And let me tell you, bro, the Broncos without Lamar Jackson were 1 point away from taking that L. And then, of course, man, Bengals lose that game, bro. We're knocking on the door, bro. So I wanted them to lose. Don't get it twisted. But, man, at home, getting Jamar Chase back, that's a lot of energy, man. And the Chiefs, man, they're ballers, man. You can't, like I said, top down, Andy Reid to Mahomes, you can't feel comfortable But I just had a feeling, man, that they were gonna lose, man, and of course, man, it happened.
Yeah,
But
Maynard said
fuck
right
it,
here,
man.
Bengals defense knows how to neutralize Mahomes. I'll say the Bengals and the Titans have the best recipe to stop Mahomes because it's one of the toughest things to do. So, yeah, Bengals have a good team. Their O-line's going. Joe Burrow's looking good, making fast decisions.
Maynard, I fuck with you, bro. I love how you're telling us gurus how your team is capable of making it back to the Super Bowl. Man, think about what you're saying right now. They went to the Super Bowl last year, bro. They didn't lose any weapons. They are definitely.
Well, their O-line was kind of not as good in the beginning of the year, but they're getting it together. They're
Get
playing well.
continuity over time, man. But the Bengals are the Bengals, bro. I mean, shit, man. The AFC North is like one of the top, AFC West. I'm sorry, AFC East and AFC North, and of course the Cowboys NFC East. Those divisions are just, man. It's like 3 teams can make it almost, in all 3 of them. I
Yeah,
love that they brought the extra game and the extra team in the postseason now.
yeah. So the last 1 o'clock game was another divisional game. The Chargers going to the Raiders. J-Bo, look at your team, the Raiders. Looking like how the Raiders play so good after playing so bad in so many games. I'm not even sure how to even, explain it. I don't know what it is or
There is no explanation, bro. That's exactly why I was telling you. I'm like, bro, when your quarterback cries and your team responds the next week with an OT win walk-off like that, I said it then, bro. This is a team that has like that X factor. It's like when Kobe passed away and the Lakers won it all. It's like when the Houston Astros won it all after the floods. It's like when the Saints won the Super Bowl after the levees broke. This is the type of weird things that happen. And it's not on that scale, of course, but there's just that weird thing you see in a team that, like, when everyone counts you out and you're crying because you're so upset that you guys give it your all and you're falling short somehow or another. And that's how you respond with 3 wins, including the Chargers now. I said it then, I'll say it again, man. Be careful. This team is a fucking sneaky team now because 2-6 at one point, bro. We would have never said that with those players.
Yeah.
We would have never said that.
I mean, they're looking good. I still just don't trust them. Let's talk about some of their skill
Fantasy-wise,
players.
I trust almost every one of
Yeah,
their skill
well, there's only
players.
2 players I trust. It's Josh
Devonta
Jacobs,
Adams?
26 carries for 144 and a touchdown. Also 2 catches for 6 yards. And Devontae Adams, 8 receptions for 177 and 2 touchdowns.
You're not
I
streaming
trust those
Carr.
guys. No, I'm talking about to win games, playoff
Yes.
games, like championship games, games that
Let me
matter.
ask you this: if Carr's available and you lose Lamar or you lose Mahomes, God forbid,
I'm matchup
trust
based.
Carr?
It's like him and like Daniel Jones are the same to me. Like whoever has
Daniel
a,
Jones has more upside. For
I mean, whoever has a better matchup, I would say it's a matchup dependent. But
they're
like
starting to heat up.
I'm taking him over like Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers
yeah.
though.
I think
and possibly
they're
even
starting
Tom
to
Brady.
heat up, and I haven't looked at the Raiders.
They're playing the
schedule.
Rams on Thursday.
They're gonna win that game.
Yeah, they're favored by 6.
Yeah,
So on a short week.
All of a sudden, they got 4 in a row,
Yeah, possibly.
which puts them at what, 5-7?
They're 5-7 now, so they could be
I'm
6
sorry,
and 7.
6-7.
Yeah. So, and then on the Chargers side,
Patriots will fall out of the playoff contention.
yeah,
Raiders will come in. Steelers will come in. Colts are falling off that. All of a sudden, that shuffle comes at the end of the year. You'll see.
So from the Chargers side, Austin Eckler doing Austin Eckler things. 10 carries for 35 yards. Also had 5 receptions for 67 yards. So getting him the ball. Keenan Allen, nice to see him. 14 targets, only 6 receptions, 88 yards and a touchdown. He had that one nice touchdown on what was kind of a broken play. And he started chirping after the game like, "What's up, homie? I'm back." I've had Keenan Allen all year. It's been disappointed having him on my bench, not knowing if he's healthy. But the last 2 games, this boy's healthy. He's getting his targets. He's getting his looks. He's getting everything. You're rolling him now. He's definitely a WR2 with WR1 upside. So start that guy if you have him. Gerald Everett started him as well. 5 receptions for 80 yards. So if you have those 2 guys, definitely start him. Palmer had a good game too. Again, with Mike Williams out, look to see Josh Palmer and Carter get some touches as well too. But I think when Mike Williams comes about, they're going to get a little bit phased out. So Josh Palmer had 7 catches for 60 yards.
What are the Chargers at right now?
The Chargers are 6-6.
6-6.
Yeah. One thing I also want to say too, Joshua Kelly, who was activated off the IR last week, I think he's the handcuff to own in the Chargers backfield in case anything happens to Eckler. Yeah, it was Isaiah Spiller, who's the rookie, and with Kelly on the IR. He was kind of being the guy, but now it goes back to Kelly being the guy if anything does happen to Eckler.
I agree with Maynard though, man. The Chargers have just been so inconsistent. 6-6 kind of shows that, but they've dealt with a lot of injuries, including Herbert.
I think this is the first game that showed their inconsistency. I think they were hurt, and like I said, Herbert. And then as you progress and watch Herbert getting progressively healthier and healthier, they played better and better and better and better.
Everybody seems to ride the coattail of this guy Herbert, and he's
Dude,
a
he's
baller.
good. He's a winner.
Don't get it misconstrued, bro. But like, he still has yet to show me that he's gonna be the guy with no matter who he has that's gonna take his team to the next level. Like, okay, I get it. Keenan Allen's soft, bro. He's getting older in his career. He gets injured a lot. I get it. Mike Williams has never really been the sturdiest of guys. But like, that's the difference between like a Mahomes where he loses Tyreek Hill and yet he's sitting at what, 8-3 at this point?
Yeah, the
8-2, the Chiefs?
The Chiefs, let me see. No, but I think Herbert's done it without
Not really, though. What was
they're
the
9-3.
record
9-3.
9-3.
No, that was Chiefs this year.
Right. What was the record of the Chargers last year? What'd they finish?
I'm not sure they made the playoffs though, but
And did what?
I think they lost in, like the first round. Let me see. Standings. Playoff first division. I don't know what their record was last year, but no, I mean, I think
they're just suspect.
Look,
They're overhyped.
no,
in my
but
opinion.
one thing I'm gonna say is like, because you know when you're in the NFL, you need a quarterback that could help you win games and a quarterback that you could trust and count on. And there's only so few of them in the NFL.
It's like
There's
7 to 8.
Yeah, and I'll put Herbert in there as like a top tier quarterback. Like he could go out there and he'll battle with the top players. So if you're trying to win a championship, I'm not saying
This is
that.
a game to me though, in all honesty, with all due respect, bro. You got to win this game. It's a division game. This team's getting hot at the right time, the Raiders. You got to win this game, man. And I feel like in those moments, he's young, bro. He hasn't proven that to me yet. Like you look at Burrow, this dude took him to the Super Bowl. Like I'll take Burrow over Herbert all day, but stat-wise, everyone talks about Herbert. I don't know, man.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see. All right, last game, Sunday Night Football, Colts versus the Cowboys. Cowboys 54 points.
33 of those in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Damn. All of a sudden, their defense just said, "Give me that."
Balling.
This was easy for me, bro. All day I had Dallas. You know, you guys probably seen the YouTube clip.
-6 first half.
-6
Good
and a
call.
half first half. And then also second half kicked off, and I'm right before kickoff. I'm like, dude, Dallas to score 10.5 points in the second half. I mean, it was a nasty odds. I'm not gonna lie, but it was like, dude, that was two no-brainer for me. I think it was like 145 to win 100 type of a play. But also -3.5 in the second half, and the over 21.5. I won't tell you what happened, but obviously all four of those hit.
Easy money.
Easy money, bro.
So really quickly, fantasy perspective, Tony Pollard, 12 carries for 91 yards, 2 touchdowns. Zeke Elliott, 17 carries for 77 yards and a touchdown. You also had CeeDee Lamb, 5 for 71 and a touchdown. And then Michael Gallup, 4 for 23 and 2 touchdowns. And Dalton Schultz got a little work, 2 receptions for 33 yards. But you're happy to see it. I think the big story is, I guess, Michael Gallup. You know, obviously CeeDee Lamb must start. Pollard, Elliott, both kind of starts. We've talked about the split, but both of them being able to eat in this backfield with their
I'll
good
never
O-line.
play Gallup, bro. He blanked on me this year.
Yeah, I wouldn't start him either, but he's
One time I played him,
but
blanked on
he's
me.
coming back off injury. But I think, like, again, if I'm going to throw a crapshoot, if we're talking about these WR3 flex players that we're streaming, like, I'd rather start Gallup than Darius Slayton or Darnell Mooney.
I actually would play Slayton over Gallup. This is his one good game. Now you look at the rest
But
of
I
his
just think it's
stats.
a touchdown upside, though. You know, with the defense turning the ball over, with Dak getting in there,
think
with
of so
him
many
being on the
mouths
field.
to
'Cause
feed.
he's, like, clearly the WR2, though, so he's on the field, you know? Like,
There's so many mouths to feed on the Cowboys. You almost can't go wrong at this point.
I like him as a WR2 because, you know, CeeDee Lamb is number 1.
You know, if they're
But then
playing
he's number
specific team,
2.
He's getting shut down. And
But
Gallup's
before, when there's Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Dalton Schultz, like,
think-
that was, like, too much.
I don't think he's the clear number 2 though. If you look at Noah Brown is consistently doing better than Gallup for the past 6-7 weeks, man.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is Gallup had 7 targets and Brown only had 2 yesterday.
No, I get it. Yesterday was a complete reversal, but if you look at Noah Brown caught both of those versus Gallup missed a lot, bro. I mean, if you look at how many targets you said he had,
Who, Gallup or
Gallup, yeah.
Gallup at 7?
and what did he catch? 3?
4.
4? And you should have seen some of those plays. He was galloping.
Yeah.
I looked at my boy P. I'm like, yo, why is this dude galloping? Like, I get his last name's Gallup, but like low key, dog. Instead of hitting it, it was a streak. And
Yeah.
he like didn't think the ball was coming, and then oh my god, and then it looked overthrown. I'm like, dude,
Yeah, so their defense is definitely something you want to mess
Their
with.
defense is going to put them in great positions. And I've been saying this for the longest because when they were winning with Cooper, I was like, bro, Dak has never played for a team that has this defense. And that showed last night because the adjustments they made were very impressive. Because if you look, it was 16 points I think the Colts had in the first half.
Yeah.
They just looked like, damn, bro, like what's going on?
Yeah.
And then sure enough, no, they didn't let him score again. I think they
Jeff,
scored 3 points in
no,
the
they scored
second half.
13, and they scored,
Right. Oh, 13.
13.
6 points in the second half. They went for 2, missed it, right?
yeah, then they got, yeah.
right.
So, and then on the Indy side, obviously, Jonathan Taylor, you're going to start him. Again, actually, he's falling into that low touchdown upside. 21 carries for 82 yards. Good volume, but Jonathan Taylor, like they're not gonna score as many touchdowns as you think they are. So that's why it's like that. I don't want to say he's touchdown dependent, but he doesn't have that touchdown upside.
Especially at this point, you're almost chalking up your season at this point. There's going to be plenty of times Jonathan Taylor doesn't even play for a couple sequences because there's no point in making him that true workhorse to give him the ball every time. So I feel very nervous to have players like this in fantasy where they're never getting out of your lineup. But they're not guaranteed anymore the production that you're looking for because let's face it, the Colts offense is garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, it is as bad as it gets.
And they have 3 receivers. I mean, Alex Pierce, 4 for 86 and a touchdown. Paris Campbell, 4 for 43. And then Michael Pittman, 2 for 16. Like, how do you know who to start? Like, I like Pittman.
Yeah, Pittman's like the must
I like Pittman out of, like, name value. But, yeah, he's a small. I like Pierce from, like, eye test. Like, that guy's a baller. Like, he's out there all over the field fucking making catches. So – and then Paris Campbell's out there too.
I mean, Maynard, to be honest, it's not since Elliott got paid he don't care anymore. Bro,
he's getting old.
They're not only is he getting older, but he goes down a lot. So he went down a couple weeks back. But I mean, Ezekiel Elliott in his defense, he'd be an RB1 on most people's teams. But Pollard is balling so bad. He wants money. He wants to get a new contract. He wants to win. That guy Pollard would be an RB1 on most teams in the NFL. So I think that's why you're seeing a decline in Elliott's production-wise. But, I mean, dude, on Turkey Day, he put up a touchdown. Even in a game where Pollard put up 2 touchdowns, he still found the end zone. The guy still got it, man. Ezekiel actually looked really good yesterday.
Yep. And really quickly, we got a couple things for you guys. I want to talk about a couple waiver wires. I know we're going to do the video tomorrow, but some guys I want to talk about. Running backs, Zonovan Knight from the Jets. Like I said, he got some touches. He's getting in there, that volume, especially Michael Carter out. James Cook from the Bills. Obviously, he looks like he's taking over Singletary. Cam Akers for the Rams. He looks like he's getting the role over Kyron Williams. Some wide receivers, Corey Davis for the Jets. If Mike White's going to be throwing the ball 57 times a game, you want as many pieces in that wide receiver. And then Jameson Williams, he's the wide receiver who just got activated from the Lions. He was on IR all year, but he's activated. Didn't play much, was on a snap count, but he's got some first round talent. And then Greg Dulcich, we talked about him week in, week out. And then some locks of the week. I got 2 locks for this week. If you guys are ready. Anyone have any locks that they want to talk about? But my locks this week is going to be the Bucks on the road against the Niners. Plus 3.5 is the opening line. If Garoppolo was healthy and the 49ers were full health, I would definitely never jump on this. But with Garoppolo out for the year, I think the Bucks plus 3.5 against San Francisco. Tom Brady having, grown up in San Francisco and all that. Give me them Bucks plus 3.5 for next week. And then not my favorite team. I'm taking the Chargers at home plus 3 against Miami.
Wait, I missed this. Wait, you're going
this Bucks versus Niners only because Garoppolo's not starting.
Right.
And Brady grew up in San Francisco.
Right.
And then Sunday Night Football.
Do we know the spread on that one yet?
3.5.
So I'm going to be honest with you, bro. This is one of those games, depending on how the Bucks play tonight, if the Bucks somehow lose to the Saints type shit, I'm actually taking Niners in this, and I'll tell you why.
Now without a quarterback, I can't.
I'll tell you why, bro. This quarterback, Brock
Purdy,
he actually played really well.
He did.
And he's known as Mr. Irrelevant. And I just love that energy where they're like, Mr. Irrelevant came in and, bro, he played very well. It's kind of like that Love situation where he came in at the end and did his thing. But he played 3 quarters against a tough opponent and grinded it out. So the truth is, we beat the Bucks when we had no one. First start of Kenny Pickett's career, first start from the first team offense, and we beat them. So I look at the Bucks and I'm like, they're the most suspect team in the league because they have everyone healthy now. There's no excuse. They got Julio back. They got obviously Mike Evans and Godwin back. Lenny's coming back. They got this Rashad White that's balling, but yet they're in this position where they're not really stringing along wins, even losing to the Browns last week in OT. So the Bucks kind of are suspect, but the Niners, on the other hand, Garoppolo isn't the guy that made that team so exceptional.
I think he is. I think he was an upgrade from Trey Lance.
Of course. But he's not the guy that made them so exceptional.
Oh,
Like
it's
their
coaching. It's
position
their team.
players and coaching is so on point that when you have such a good run game, you don't have to have the best QB. Like Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl, bro. That's not to discredit my guy's play as an NFL QB, but like it was the defense that got him there. It was their run game.
No, but I think going back to even to New England, Garoppolo's a winner, man. Like he's a winner. He's someone you want leading.
Season.
You want someone leading your team.
In the regular season.
He's took him to the
He's
Super
also
Bowl.
fragile.
Yeah, he gets hurt.
You know what I mean? It's weird, bro. So I don't know. Too early for me to give you my ultimate pick on that, but it seems like a no-brainer pick.
Really quick, so let's just talk about
the other
tonight.
one?
That's it. That's just the locks of the week. I want to give him my picks
What was
ahead of
it?
the week.
Chargers in Miami?
Chargers Miami. Chargers at home +3.
Oh yeah, no.
And
This is a bounce back game for me.
one funny stat line that I like to hear all the time is that the Dolphins are undefeated when Tua starts and finishes
Baker
the game.
Mayfield got released.
Yeah, they're gonna the Chiefs are gonna sign him and start him over Pat Mahomes.
No, what's going to happen is Baker Mayfield might mess around and become a Niner somehow.
Yeah, he may be.
Played in Cali, dog.
Yeah, maybe, but yeah, I don't think they want Baker. Dude, I'll take Purdy over that guy. But what do
But
you
you still might need to sign someone to
who
at
do
least
you
be the back.
who do you like tonight?
Tonight's game?
Tonight's game, we got the
So-
Bucks and the Saints.
So listen, man, every once in a while, dude, you see these games, and it's very, very simple, man. Primetime games, Andy Dalton is not the guy. I really feel bad for Andy Dalton this year. You know why? He had a couple
So many primetime games?
Yeah, he had a couple primetime games back to back. Then he ended up coming to play the Steelers, which, mind you, we owned the Dalton Bengals in our careers. We dominated him in that game. Now the poor guy's got to go back on the road in a divisional game on primetime again, bro. And I'm sorry to say this, but I don't understand when I look at the Saints organization. You got Jameis Winston, you got Taysom Hill, but yet it's a primetime game and they're not even in debate to even like start over him. Like, dude, if I know it and you know it, then why doesn't the coaching staff understand that this is just the guy that can't play in the primetime game? So to me, it's if they're still rolling out Dalton in these games, if you put $1,000 every time against him on primetime, you'd be really sitting pretty right now. So I got to roll with that same theme. It does scare me because the Bucks just, again, aren't really that good.
Bucks defense is good though.
But
So
I think their defense against Dalton in the primetime, you're probably going to see another pick six.
yes, sir.
So I got -3. I'm taking the Bucks. Also, since there's no Lattimore, here's my other gem of the week. The Bucks will score 10.5 points or more in the first half.
Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna spend up a little bit. I'm gonna take the Bucks money line
I like that.
only because I gotta make sure they win. Like I can't have the Bucks win by 1 or 2. You know, Tom Brady just
I can see him
surging.
push on three for sure.
I can see him just like magically like just putting together a drive in the fourth quarter to come back and win the
then going
game.
for 2.
Yeah, and then something, and then they don't cover. So I'm taking the money line. I'm buying them up. I already put them in. I actually parlayed
You're
them.
not going to go for OT because they've lost in OT this year to the Browns last week, actually. So if they do tie the game late, they'll go for 2 just to end it here. They're at home.
So I put a nice little parlay in. I took the Bucks -175 with the Chargers +3. So
Chargers +3 on Sunday night of
on
next week.
Sunday night of this week. So
Or
let them cover this, and then I'll just be riding Chargers for a nice little payday plus points.
I
So
like that. So I'm
But-
looking for a halftime. I'm looking to see what kind of parlay comes at halftime. If I see some, I'll post
I mean, if the
this.
Bucks are losing at halftime, I'm going to fire them
That's
on.
what I'm saying,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I don't see them going down at all. And if it is, then Andy Dalton maybe saw a shrink or a guru and told him how to play on primetime.
Nah, man, this is one of those things, man, you get lucky with, you know?
That's it. And everyone tune in, man. We got Monday Night Football. That's here. We're walking you guys in. I know we got a good game, divisional game. Obviously, find us on the socials. Like,
Onside, kicking
subscribe,
it everywhere, guys.
everything. You guys know I'm Go, Sick as Fool. We
It's
onside
simple,
kicking
man.
it.
Whatever platform you have, you can find us. Sick as Fools on IG. I'm on IG, TikTok, Twitter. At Onside Kicking It will get you to every platform. Stay tuned on the YouTube channel. We are doing something new where we're posting real quick snippets. So if you don't have the notifications on because you're not subbed to the channel yet, make sure you sub to the channel because you'll get those little real time picks that we choose.
Subscribe, and then we'll be live on Thursday doing the preview. So if you want to preview the games with us this weekend, it'll be Thursday.
Oh yeah, man, that's our favorite time.
Yeah, and then we'll get you the real locks. But I give you the early locks. We'll see how the lines move, stuff like that. Who's in, who's out. And we'll catch you on Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday at 3:30 Pacific Standard, and that's where we're gonna preview every single game and give you what we got, man. Last week on air live. Your boy went 16-2, including a prop bet for Barkley to score a TD. So, I'm not saying follow my moves. I'm just letting you know what I'm doing. Whether you choose to go with us or against us, just join us for the shit talking and having some good time.
Let's go. We kicking it, onside kicking it specifically.